All right, hi everyone, I'm Jana. So I thought I'd start off with talking about my career in data analytics, but before I get started, I wanted to ask, has anyone actually heard of the word data analytics or data analyst? Put your hand up if you have. Okay, quite a few of you. Okay, well this is still quite something that's quite new still, so I thought I'd start off by talking about why companies actually need data analysts. So companies generate loads and loads of data, and that comes from stuff like softwares or systems. So an example would be like Netflix, which is a completely online company, and they have lots of data that's coming in on who's watching what shows, the different age groups that watch it, the different accounts that watch it, and like individual episodes, and they've got loads of data coming in, but they don't really know what to do with that data. And when there's that amount of data, it also means that it's very messy. And that's where data analysts come in. So we help in converting that data into something that's usable, which they can use to then make business decisions, which then leads to them making profit out of that. So an example of it is, for example, Netflix. They might be looking into a particular genre and seeing which of the genre is doing better. So if they find, for example, that the thriller genre is doing the best, they might decide then that they want to invest more in shows that are thriller related, or maybe even create their own shows that are in the thriller genre. So that's an example of them using the data and converting that into profit. And that's basically what data analysts help with. And that's basically what I do at the companies that I've worked at. But I haven't always been interested in data analysts or data analytics from the start as well. So I thought I'd talk about my journey of how I became a data analyst. So for A-levels, I did maths, biology, and chemistry. So I didn't really have any sort of particular passion towards those subjects. I kind of did it just because I was good at it, not because, yeah, I really wanted those. I was just kind of good at it. Sorry, I was really good at it, and I kind of liked it, so I decided to do that. And I thought, I'll figure out what I want to do later on, because like everyone else, I had no idea what I wanted to do because there was just too many options out there. And then when it came to deciding what uni I wanted to go to and what course I wanted to do, I went with the same thing. I just decided, oh, well, out of the 3 subjects, I'm better at biology, so let me just pick biology because it's the best option for me, and it's quite open with what I can do afterwards after I graduate as well. So I was like, yeah, let me just do with that and I'll figure out what I want to do later. And obviously, because I went to Imperial, it was quite intense. So by the time I got to final year, I was like, I don't really know if I want to do biology or anything biology related. So after I graduated, I was just completely lost because I was like, I did 3 years of biology and I really didn't like it. But I also don't know what I want to do. But I didn't fully want to give up on it without actually trying it. So I worked as a lab assistant and at an environmental forensics lab for a couple of months, which is basically soil analysis. I did that and I realized that I definitely don't want to work in a lab, and this is definitely not something that I want to do like in the longer term, because I realized that from my day-to-day I needed more variety in what I wanted to do. I also like having more people interaction and more progression as well, and working in the lab isn't going to get me there. So I left after a couple of months of working there, and I applied to all sorts of different jobs, and that's when I landed an internship at a management consultancy. And I did a 3-week-long software development project and a week-long data analytics. And I realized I enjoyed that 1 week of data analytics more than the software development. So I was like, okay, they offered me a role, but I left that and I was like, I want to try and pursue something that's more data analytics related. So I applied to different jobs and I came across something called the Data School program, which is kind of like a graduate program. It was 2.5 years long, and I spent 4 months going through training in 2 softwares called Tableau and Ultrix, which are data analytics softwares. And then I did 2 years of placements at different companies, which is where I got a lot of my experience from in working with different sorts of data and different sort of industries. So Savills is a real estate company. I worked there for about 6 months. BBC, of course, you guys have heard of. That was, I think, one of the best places that I worked at in terms of the data that I was looking at audience data and looking at the sort of characteristics of it and seeing what sort of decisions we can make based off of that. Jaguar Land Rover, manufacturing company, worked there for a couple months. And then Paddle is a payment software company. That was my last placement. During my time at all these placements, I also made sure that I went to conferences and did networking with lots of different people so that I could see what sort of opportunities I had after I left this, because this was a 2.5-year program and I still needed to find a permanent role after I left as well. So while I was doing that, I actually came across someone that was working at ClarusONE, which is a pharmaceutical company that's a joint venture between McKesson and Walmart, which are US-based companies. And the main mission of the company is to make medicine affordable for people in the US, because I don't know if most people know, but the price of medicine in the US is crazy. So the company works with suppliers to reduce the prices of the medicine that we're buying from suppliers so that they're sold at cheaper prices as well. And I really liked the initiative, so I met him, and later on, a couple months later, he told me there's actually a data analyst role that's open, just in time for me actually finishing the program as well. So that's how I landed the role as a data analyst, which is where I am now, and I've been here for about 1.5 years now, and I'm really enjoying it. My day-to-day at the company varies a lot. I'm not going to bore you with the details of it, but it's usually extracting data from different systems, compiling them into reports, analyzing them, seeing if there's any sort of patterns or any outliers we notice in the data, and then presenting that back to leadership or particular teams that I'm working with to see what sort of decisions they can make off of that. So that's my current role. As you can see, unlike the other people that have been talking, there's no straight pathway to this is what you need to do this degree and you'll be a data analyst. There's no way like that. And it's the same for most of my colleagues and other people that I know that are data analysts as well. So instead of telling you you should do this degree or do this, I thought I would talk about what sort of, how you can sort of explore this sort of career path right now in your position. So one thing I'd recommend doing is doing more extracurricular activities, joining clubs that are related to maths, technology, or coding. That would give you more exposure to this sort of industry and what it's like to work here. You can also go to events like this where you can meet people like me who do these sort of work in this sort of career, so you can get an understanding of what their day-to-day is like and whether it's something that you would enjoy. Some companies also do taster days, so similar to how they did the HSBC Insights Days, some companies do industry days where you could go in and find out what it's like to work in that industry. And then, of course, the old-fashioned way of just Googling it online, looking at online courses, YouTube videos, to try and get an understanding of whether this sort of career is suitable for you. And then I thought I'd just finish off with some advice that I wish I had when I was your age. So one of the main ones, which I think a few other people have also mentioned, is make sure to build a good network of people that you can learn from and also can guide you along the way as well. So coming to events like this, going out of your way to talk to different people and understanding different career paths will help you a lot. And even if just a 5-minute conversation with someone could give you so much more insight into what it's like and to work in their career. So yeah, building a network is something that's really important. Another thing is make sure you try things before you say no. So for example, after I graduated, I could have easily just said, yeah, I'm done with science, I don't want to do this. But I made sure to work in a lab and definitely know that I definitely don't want to do this before I said no to it. And now, because I did that, I'm very confident with my decision, and I don't have to second guess myself of whether I should have done that or not. So make sure you try things. Even if you hate it, at least you know that, oh, I definitely don't want this, and it tells you what exactly you don't want in a career. And then, yeah, the third point is, leading off that, do things that you enjoy and not just because you're good at it, because that's the mistake I made at the start, where I picked subject just because I was good at it rather than because I enjoyed it, which meant that I ended up struggling when I was in uni because I did it because I was good at it, but when I wasn't good at it, I ended up not liking it as much, which made it even more difficult. So it was just like a whole loop that keeps going around. So make sure you do something that you enjoy so that even when it gets hard, you're able to deal with it because you enjoy it. And then the last one is keep your options open. Don't just cut off anything just because right now you don't like it, because later on you might change your mind, and that's completely fine. It's okay to keep changing your mind. Like, your passion right now might be something, but then you have one conversation with someone and you might change your mind. That's completely fine. But that's why it's also important to keep your options open so that you have the ability to change your mind as well. And enjoy the journey. I think you only go through this once in your life, so just enjoy it as you go along. It does get stressful at times, but yeah, keep smiling.